Hi, everyone. Happy Saturday. Welcome to our first time homebuyer seminar. We're going to keep this short and sweet just to help you out. I know it's Saturday and you guys probably have some things to do. If you're living in the San Diego area, California, remember today starts the purple tier.
Oh, does that mean Barney's making an appearance at my house?
No, that is not correct. All right,
That
so
is not
we're going to
correct.
start with your homeownership plan. First, you need to look at your current job and stability. Then you need to look at the future growth opportunity of pay increases. Next, what is your budget? Where do you spend your money? Are you saving money monthly? Do you contribute to your 401k, or do you need to start with? Do you have emergency fund, vacation yearly, or goals? What amounts do you have for your down payment? Do you need a gift, home buyer assistance? What's your ideal monthly mortgage payment? Okay, look at the full spectrum of your situation before you get out there. Understand what you're looking to accomplish. Understand what's comfortable in your pocketbook. If you don't know kind of what's realistic, what's not realistic, yes, talk to a trusted lender, talk to a trusted realtor, and they can kind of help you out in that process. And the question is, well, how do I find a trusted lender?
Ooh, that's a good question because there's a lot of us out there.
Yes. And if you don't know yet, if you haven't watched our market updates, you'll know David Wright here, my co-host, is a lender. Myself, I'm a realtor. All right. So I have a real estate team out there. So David helps you with the numbers. I help you find the properties. I help you sell the properties. I help you with that avenue. Okay. So
it's a team sport.
Finding the right lender. Okay. Ask someone for referral. Or if you already have a realtor, ask that realtor for referral. Look up Yelp, look up Zillow, look up Google, look up Redfin, look up that lender. Put that lender's name, okay, in Google, and you'll see basically Yelp, Zillow, Redfin, all the different platforms of where they pop up. Now, if you're not finding them on there or they don't have reviews, you can ask them. Ask them if they can send you some reviews of them. All right. If they've been doing any kind of real estate, helping people with loans, they probably have some reviews. If they don't have reviews, there's something going on that you might want to dive deeper into. I mean, would you buy a phone that had no reviews? Would you buy a car that had no reviews? I mean, why
Did you get brain surgery from a doctor that's only done it 2 times?
I mean, the one thing different, okay, from a doctor and a realtor is the license that they have for a doctor.
That's the one thing that's different.
Is going to show that they've put the years, put the time in, and actually done it. Well, with a realtor or a lender.
Wait, hold on, Vinny. We just got to stop for a minute because the one thing that's different between a doctor and a realtor is the license. And now that we've established this,
no, listen, you're not letting me finish. Okay. So yes, a realtor and a lender have a license to serve. Yet the barrier of entry to become a realtor, become a lender, is a lot lower than it is to be a doctor. Secret.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? So
words of wisdom.
Just because the person has a license doesn't necessarily mean they do this at a high level. Okay. So that's why you look at their reviews. That's why you look at their numbers. You can check to see if they've been in the business for a long period of time. Check the license number. Okay. Dive deeper into the person you're going to use and just don't go with someone that says they're a realtor. If you watch our market updates, you'll know, at least on the real estate side, not necessarily on the lending side, that if you sold one deal in the last 12 months, you're in the top 20% of all realtors.
Terrible.
Okay. Now that you have a lender, what's next? You want to take this, David?
Yeah, I'll jump in here because Vinnie is 100% right. The barrier to entry for lender and realtor is low, and barrier to entry for doctor is high. Me and Vinnie like to think that we're doing the work that will help cure your soul and your finances as well. So just full disclosure. So you already picked your lender. What's next? How do you secure your home loan? Well, as a lender, we're always going to look at certain things. And for the most part, if you want to remember an easy way, they come in 2s. 2 years tax returns, 2 years of rental history, 2 years of W-2s, 2 current pay stubs, 2 months bank statements. All comes in twos. The other thing, we're going to want to know where you lived for the last 2 years of a rental history. Why? Because we're going to check with your landlord to see if you paid on time. If you're not paying your landlord on time, that's a problem because it's a gateway to go, will you pay for your home loan on time? So please pay your landlord on time. It does make a difference. Next, we're going to pull your credit. So a lot of clients come to me and they go, oh my golly Wally, I already have my credit. It's on freecreditreport.com or Credit Karma. Yes, those are great free sites. The problem is those are for car loans and credit cards, which are for a very small amount of money. A house in San Diego is much more expensive. So when we pull your credit, we pull a mortgage credit report. It has everything on it. It's more restrictive. Your credit score will be lower, but we do have to pull your credit. It is a hard pull. And full disclosure out there for everybody who goes, oh my gosh, if you pull my credit, will the credit score drop? No. If you pull it more than 6 times in a month, yes, it will drop. But there's no reason to pull your credit score 6 times in 1 month unless you chose 6 lenders who were all complete ding-dongs. Full disclosure, that could happen. Please choose wisely.
Now, okay, now David's going through all these things, the ideas of 2, okay? And a lot of people, I mean, maybe especially if you own a business or other avenues, you don't fit in that bubble, okay, into that perfect picture, right? So if you don't fit into that perfect picture, that's where David, okay, a broker like David, can dissect it a little more, okay? And they can sell who you are to the underwriter, okay? David's like the attorney, the underwriter's like the judge. He's trying to build a case to tell the judge why you should be able to buy a property, okay? So let's say you don't have the tax returns, or let's say there's some other issue, but maybe he can say, hey, you can do this, you can do that. Now, when you deal with a brick and mortar company, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult, okay, to go outside those guidelines. All right, so something to just be aware of when you're dealing with a lender.
I thought about an interesting analogy, Vinny. So we could also use your doctor analogy and be like, if you're a patient, but your loan file is a little sick, like it's not perfect, or you don't have, you're self-employed, we can play the role as a doctor to fix it up and make it find the best one that fits your particular needs or situations. Brain surgeon? No, that's probably not true, but thank you for thinking of me with brain surgery, but I'm actually not qualified to do that.
So here's a question that Maribel threw out. I have a question. How easy is it for someone who just got out of prison to basically purchase, I'm assuming, asking for a friend?
Wow. Well, first of all, they have to get a job. So you have to get an occupation. Depending on what they're in prison for, maybe you can get a different job in, financial markets or a lawyer. I'm just kidding. They will have to have a job. They have to come out and get a job. Technically,
but hypothetically, if they got a contract, right? Let's say they got a contract for construction or whatever it might be, but they had a 2-year contract, right? In that profession, could they use that instead of waiting the 2 years?
I'm sorry, I don't understand that.
Yeah, so I know when you're purchasing a property, you need a track record of 2 years. But if you have a contract in place, you're guaranteed your position, right, for the next couple of years or 2 years, 3 years, whatever the contract is. So let's say he gets out of jail, he has a contract in place, so he's guaranteed work for the next basically 2 years, 3 years. He wouldn't need a track record of it, right?
No, but we would need 1 pay stub within that contract period to show that he was paid for that, and then we could use it, and that would fall underneath an extenuating circumstance type loan, and those are things you can do.
Perfect. Okay. Well, that was definitely an interesting question, and she says that he has a job, so just FYI on that. All right. Oh, let's go back to that. So, what's most important to you? Is it monthly payment? Is location of home? Is it appreciation of home? Is it the future rental value of the home? What important about the loan is the down payment, is the interest rate, is the lowest cost to close on the home, is the lowest long-term cost. I mean, understanding the full spectrum of what's needed or what you're looking for, what you're looking to accomplish with the property, then that's going to allow you, your lender and your realtor, to understand what's the best foot forward. I mean, I don't, like, let's say example that you know you're going to be out of the country in 3 years and you don't want to be a landlord, right? And I'm not suggesting this with anyone. And you go, okay, well, I'm going to get a 511. I'm going to get an adjustable rate because I know I have to sell in 3 years, right? And I'm going to be out of the country. Now, the monthly payments are going to be less, yet the security of not knowing that the values are going to be high enough to
in 5 years.
Yeah, in 5 years to readjust. So I'm not saying now, yet maybe if the market was 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and you looked at that, it might have made sense to save on the rate going forward. And so not if the lender or the realtor don't have all the facts in front of you, they can't help you put the picture together. They can't help you build that roadmap to get from A to Z.
That's why the goals are so important. These things Vinnie just mentioned is, if we don't know your goals and what you're really trying to achieve, or if you don't know them, you can make a bad decision. Because if you're listening to our market updates, yes, home prices have gone up and up and up, but is that always guaranteed? Nope. It's usually about every 10 years we get an adjustment. We're in year 12, haven't got an adjustment yet, and we have the lowest rates in history right now. So when you're thinking about doing this, think about what's most important to you, and these are certain goals that you really want to have down. Oh, boom. Wake up, people.
Yeah.
What's that? So, listen, we put this picture in here just in case you were falling asleep because me and Vinnie are so boring. This is about lending horror stories. If you don't do your pre-qualification correctly, and some of your friends, you probably know them, you talk to them and they go, oh my God, the loan was so terrible, I lost my house. Or the lender constantly wants more items, or this takes forever. Or the lender calls you at the last minute and says, hey, actually, you need to bring in more money than you anticipated. Or a week before closing, Vinnie, the lender calls you and says, hey, Vinnie, sorry, your client doesn't meet lending guidelines, so your loan's declined.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's never a fun call.
Or the lender calls you, the client, and goes, oh, you need a cosigner. Or your cost just went up. Or we need to pay off these debts. Make sure you do the pre-qualification correctly. You don't want to be on this story.
Remember, it goes back to that analogy. You have the attorney, you have the judge. He's trying to build a case of why he should be able to buy a property. If he doesn't have all the facts at his fingertips, he might not be able to see something that could arise. I mean, also too, if that originator you're working with is not asking the questions, right, diving deeper into understanding it. Like, I'll give you an example. I mean, I had a client in the past. He was moving from Arizona to San Diego to buy a property here. He had a job, never had a transfer letter, right, saying he's going to transfer his job to San Diego, right? Yet the lender, it was a brick and mortar, I'm not going to say which brick and mortar it was, right, said, all right, we'll give you, you're approved to buy in San Diego. I relate to him. I go, are you sure? There's no transfer letter. Are you sure? Are you sure? Yes, they're perfectly fine. We get into escrow. He goes to the underwriter. The underwriter goes, he has no transfer letter. So we don't know the job's going to be still there once we close on the property. So he's denied the loan. All right. So
wow.
There's things that are going to pop up if the questions aren't asked and they don't dive deep enough into it. Now, going into the different loan types, there's a lot of different loans out there. FHA, conventional VA loans, jumbo loans are probably the biggest loans out there, the most used loans, right? FHA, 3.5% down. Usually people talk about the quote-unquote first-time home buyer program. They use the FHA for that. Not necessarily the case. Sometimes conventional is better, especially if your FICO is better. VA, no money down and no limits. There is kind of a cap based off of what the lenders are really going to back. Mm-hmm. So there is something there, but there is no limit. So it's kind of a little confusing. Don't worry if you have a question about that, David can help you out. And then the jumbo loans, 10% down payments, up to $2 million. All right,
that's back, Vinnie. Like we talked about on our market updates, 10% down jumbos are back.
All right, let's now median home prices over the last 5 years have gone up. We've already talked about it. Don't judge the last 5 years for what's going to happen in the next 5 years, because we're probably closer to the top of the market than we are to the bottom of the market. So if you're looking to buy a property today thinking that you're just going to make a massive amount of money over the next 5 years, you're probably sadly mistaken. Focus on that monthly payment.
pandemic going on too, Vinny. We got strange times ahead. We're 12 years in a straight appreciating market, so tough times.
It's a pendulum. You mean it goes up, it goes down. Usually about every 10 years, it transitions. So be aware of that. So focus on the monthly payment. You can do small upgrades to your property, add on to your property, do things like that that will help the value in the property. So even if the market goes down, your value maybe won't go down as far or will stay fairly consistent. So something to be aware of. Oh, you want to go over this one, David?
Yeah. So you look at the appreciation in San Diego market and you save for your down payment. You know all your goals. Now you look at it, and if the lender does not go over with you about closing costs ahead of time, this will be a big surprise that you will not like. So what's the average closing cost for new home? Average closing cost as an estimate are around 2.25% of the purchase price. So if your home's $500K, you're looking at around $11,250 just for closing costs. Also, closing costs will vary from month to month. Why? Because of property taxes and insurance are more expensive for certain months out of the year. You know, September and October, the most expensive months to close on a home. You want to keep that in mind. Then you have to look at it and go, well, what if I save for my down payment? I saved my 3.5% for the FHA. I got this. I'm good to go. And then the lender forgets to tell you about closing costs. Are you screwed? No. Maybe the realtor can help negotiate closing costs for you, which is kind of a hard thing to do right now. Vinny, would you agree with how competitive the market is?
Yeah, it's definitely hard unless the property's been sitting, or maybe if you've been watching our market updates, you'll know the attached market is not as crazy as the detached market. So
and
it might
then,
be.
Sorry about that.
No, so might be some wiggle room there. Know the market that you're buying in to understand if it's possible to ask for some kind of closing costs.
You know, that knowing your market just made me think of something about when we do our investor seminars, and it talks about knowing your market to understand how not to lose your money.
Yeah. Now, going into Maribel's question, she brought it up. It was for the last slide, talking about unforeseen circumstances of falling out of escrow and things like that. With COVID going on, there are PAD forms, okay, documents of getting you into the property, but there are also COVID protection forms. So if you lose your job, to protect you. I mean, it's really an iffy situation, especially with how crazy the market is. If some agents are accepting those terms, but you do have protection in place for that. Even for VA offers and FHA offers, you have protection in place for appraisals and things like that. So be aware of the situations. Have your realtor talk to you about maybe your specific situation and see what kind of protections you have in place.
Final thing on closing costs, the lender can also credit you for the closing cost. What that means is your rate is higher versus lower. And every interest rate comes at a different cost. You have to be careful. All those ads you hear on TV, see on TV, hear on the radio, everything comes at a cost. So you'll hear a lot of ads that go, interest rate today is 1.99%, APR 3%. You need to pay attention to the cost. Make sure you have a trusted lender that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you're basically buying points and selling points. So yeah, just be aware of what they're charging you, because yes, it might look like a good rate, yet you're paying for it somehow.
Nothing's for free.
So very important things to think about when you're buying. Okay, usually people buy or sell every 5-7 years. Okay, so understand that where you buy is important. It really helps with resale and future rental. So understanding the markets. Does buying a home still allow you a life and sleep comfortably? You save money towards your retirement, okay, with this new home. You have to understand kind of what's possible when you're buying. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that fall in love with the property and they go up in price and they go, well, now it's only an extra $50, $100, $150 more a month in my pocket. Be aware of that. I mean, in theory, it's really easy to say, okay, it's only $150 more a month in my pocket. Yet in reality, how is that really going to feel for you? So understand what you're looking to accomplish before you get out there and emotionally fall in love with the property.
Oh, choosing the best realtor. So listen, if you're paying attention to our updates and our seminars, it is so expensive if you choose the wrong realtor. So we mentioned this. I mention it because I unfortunately get to see it all the time. People choose the wrong agent. They choose their former cousins, brothers, uncle who just got his license yesterday. And, you know, prior to that, he was the head barista at Starbucks. Nothing against Starbucks baristas, tough job. A lot of respect for, you know, working in coffee shop, very stressful. But choosing the best realtor, make sure you do your homework. It's similar to the lender. Do not choose a ding dong. Check their online reviews. If they have no online reviews, they're not doing business. Check their license number. Me and Vinny go back and forth with this. I've come to the realization, I have to correct myself because I'm a little hard on this, is if the agent's newer but they work on a good team, you have the backing of the good team, and that's good. And
even if they've been in the business for a long time, sorry, David. Yeah, even if they've been in the business a long time, you got to be aware. Some people, I mean, they've been in the business a long time, yet they're not doing business. They've had their license for a long time, yet they're not producing. They're not doing the thing. So understanding who you're working with, understanding what their intentions are. I mean, here, I'm going to pull this up real fast and we'll get back into it.
Oh, no, you're going to, oh, man, dagger.
All right. So this, okay, 28,000 realtors in San Diego County. Okay. Members who closed in the last 12 months, 5,800 have closed one deal in the last 12 months. That means if they sold one deal in the last 12 months, that puts them in the top 20% of all realtors. Okay.
That's bad.
All right. Now we're talking about if they sold, let's go to 5 deals. That puts them in the top 7% of all realtors.
Wow.
So think about it when you're using a realtor. If they're in the top, let's say top, I mean, they're sold 3 deals, 1 deal, 2 deals. Are they focusing more on getting you into the right property and protecting you, or are they focusing on their pocketbook to make sure they get their commission and close it?
That is such a harsh statement, Vinny, but you're 100% correct. The other things you want to think about is, now that Vinny showed those numbers, is do they do this full time? Do they sell real estate full time? Do they even own a home? How many homes do they really sell? Not what they tell you on social media. Social media, unfortunately, is not real. And a lot of agents post a lot of things on there that are not real. And then experience matters. Like Vinny said, you can have an agent that's been an agent for 15 years, yet they do hardly any business, and it's not going to make any difference. This is the largest investment of your life. Choose wisely.
Oh, Maribel wanted to chime in. Like picking a great brain surgeon.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Full disclosure, I do brain surgery on the side. I only do like 2 a year, but I'm super good at it. So hire me.
She's a comedian this morning. All right. Now you have a loan set and a great realtor. Okay. So what's next? All right. So understanding what you're looking to accomplish, again, house size, location, schools, appreciation, price. I mean, understanding these items right here are going to make the process easier for you. I mean, there's people go, okay, I want a single family home over here, but they find out that maybe a detached property, I mean, maybe a attached property, right, that has minimal HOAs is going to be more to their liking, right? Understanding what they're looking to accomplish and understanding what you're looking to accomplish is going to help everyone in the process find that property for you. Now, what's next? After all that, you write the offer. Now, most people go, okay, the purchase price is going to be the top thing, right? Yet the terms of the offer. I mean, people will take less money if they need the money. I've seen it happen. They'll take, let's say, a 12-day escrow compared to a 30-day escrow. That's less money in their pocket if they need the money. So if your lender, I actually had this other day. I talked to a lender they put an offer on one of our listings, and I talked to the lender. I go, okay, they're doing a 30-day escrow, and I asked them, I go, okay, I just want to check 30-day escrow is what you do, and they go, yeah, you know what, we're still going really fast, so 30 days we can close it for you. And I was like, wow, that doesn't really mean that fast. 30 days is average, even in this climate. You have escrow closing 70 days, 20 days, 21 days. So understanding the timelines is going to be very beneficial for you. Okay. Fees being split. Are they paid by each party? Who's paying them? Items be conveyed in the sale or not? There's real property and personal property. Real property is the structure of the house. The personal property is like the stove, refrigerator, things like that. So based off the items you want to convey in it, you write that in your offer. And then the earnest money deposit, it's a really arbitrary number, generically between 1 I mean, sometimes 5%. It's an arbitrary number. It's protected by your contingencies that you put into place. So just be aware of that. Talk to your realtor of what you can comfortably put into escrow if you got your offer accepted.
All that stuff right there, it's a lot of moving parts going on. We went over it fast, but the key thing is you really got to know the closing costs, the EMD, and then your realtor is really going to make a big difference of how they negotiate all that stuff right there, because you may not think it makes a difference, but how well your realtor can communicate with the other side is the difference of getting your offer accepted or not. And I've never done this before, but I'm going to go out on a limb here, Vinny. This is where Vinny is actually going to bat for you to sell your deal to the other agent to persuade them to take your offer over the 20 other ones on the home of your dreams that you just bid on. If your realtor is not able to communicate or is not personable, not likable, and can't sell your idea, odds of your offer getting accepted, they're a lot lower.
Yeah, based off the market you're in. I mean, there's
market right now.
I mean, for me, I'm a lot more protective of my clients. So I want to make sure that they're taken care of, and there's so many issues that can come about. But yeah, again, there's some people that are going to focus more just that commission and worry about the rest of the stuff later. So, I mean, it's really a give and take of understanding what can go wrong and trying to protect you for those issues not to arise during the process. What happens next with your offer? Okay, sell your offer, then boom, accepted a contract. If there could be a multiple counter, a singular counter, based off the property, based off the community, based off what you're looking to accomplish, there might be a multiple counter in this current climate. When they do come to a meeting of the minds and you do get an acceptance, open escrow, jump forward. Now, once escrow is open, instructions are issued for the wiring of the EMD. You can deposit that EMD into escrow. The lender requests funds from escrow and title so they can disclose the loan and start the signing disclosures. Also, this is kind of when the time frame starts, but then locking the rate. People get confused sometimes. They're talking to one lender. The lender says they can give you this rate. The lender says they can give you this rate. Yet the rate's not locked in until you actually get into escrow.
That is a huge thing, Vinny, because I'm just going to say this as an example. On Friday, I looked at interest rates on jumbos in the morning. They were 2.625. In the afternoon, a client called me and was like, hey, I got my contract accepted. Can we lock what we went over this morning? Rates had changed that afternoon. Rates were now 2.75. Rates change daily. Don't fall into that trap of thinking they stay the same and that they're constantly going down. I watched this thing called Idiot Box, television, and it just says every day rates are getting lower and lower. That is not the case. So,
yeah, I mean, they're going up, they're going down. When you have a lender like David, right, he's gonna say, hey, you know what, maybe today might be the best day, maybe tomorrow. I really think rates are gonna go down in a week from now. Watching the market, understanding the market, and figuring out when's the best time to lock a rate in. And then the realtor is going to help with the home inspection. We have a home inspector we usually use. There's a lot of home inspectors out there. Find the right one for you. The lender appraisal. All right, so the appraiser is going to call you up, say, hey, can we go over the appraisal? What happens with the appraisal is the appraiser wants to make sure the property is worth the price that you're under contract with, and then it meets the livability standards based off that loan type. And then escrow is going to send you a package to fill out to confirm who you are, and that once they actually close on the property, they're passing it on to the correct person.
Ooh, what are the loans going on? A lot of things going on while the loan is moving. Your realtor's got to help you with your home inspection. You have to look at repairs that are noted, costs that are formulated, requests for repairs that are made, what can be negotiated, price negotiations. Once again, keynote number 5. If your realtor cannot negotiate, you will lose money. And then further, other tests may go on: mold tests, termites, water, plumbing, electrical, roof certs. There's so many moving things that are going on while the loan is going at the same time. If your agent just goes, oh, we're under contract. Oh, we got the house. Oh, inspection. Oh, it's fine. House looks great.
Look at this analogy right here. Okay. So when you go for your checkup, and hopefully you're doing a checkup on a consistent basis with your doctor. All right. Now the doctor, he knows a little bit of everything. So he's doing a general checkup on you. Okay. If there's something that looks out of the ordinary, right, and he goes, oh, you know what, I think you really need to dive deeper into this, right? That's when you bring in the specialist. Okay. In this case, that specialist would be the mold person, the water person, the plumber, electrician, anything like that. So they're going to dive deeper into that thing to see if there really is an issue. Now, just like no person is perfect, right? No property is perfect, but you want to make sure the property is perfect for you, right?
Wow, that was good.
So there's going to be items that are going to come about in this inspection. Now, what's going to happen there is you're going to go, okay, well, this item right here, this item right here, we want the seller to take care of this. Now, the seller can say yes, no, whatever it might be. They might give a credit. They might just say, we're not going to do anything, whatever it might be. It becomes a second negotiation and trying to get a meeting of the minds. Now, if there is a meeting of the minds, signing off, going forward, no problem. If there isn't a meeting of the minds, it's you can cancel, get that deposit back, no harm, no foul. So understanding what's possible, what's available, what can happen is going to make life easier for you during that process. You want to take this over?
Yeah, let me do this one because I know that we're a little bit slower today than normal. So what to expect while the loan's going on? Well, if you did your pre-qualification correctly, once the loan starts moving, things will move fast. So your loan gets disclosed. It means we send you an email for you to DocuSign. It means we're starting a loan. It talks about the down payment, the 30-year fixed or whatever loan you're doing. It talks about you're responsible for the payment. You got to sign those disclosures. Next, the loan goes to processing. Processing is a review of all your documents to make sure we have all the necessary components we believe before we present your case to the underwriter. Once your loan goes through processing, it goes to underwriting. When it goes to underwriting, the underwriting is looking at the guidelines of the loan and everything in your loan file, your credit, your income, your debt ratio, your assets, your reserves, your job history, making sure it all fits the guidelines to lend you money. Once your loan comes out of underwriting, sometimes comes out of underwriting, almost no conditions. Pretty rare, unless you're the perfect borrower, which does happen, full disclosure. If it's not perfect or if the lender did their job incorrectly, it could come out of underwriting with 50 loan conditions. Could come out with 5. They're all going to vary depending on your file and how the lender did it and if they were competent. Then after you get your loan conditions back into the lender, we sign them off. We issue you a closing disclosure. Number 7 is important. The closing disclosure was started back during the housing recession. It's so that you don't get bait and switched and screwed over by the lender. Once the disclosure comes out, the closing disclosure, you review it. The lender should go over with you. It should be exactly what he or she promised. The loan type, the interest rate, the down payment, the monthly payment, everything should be perfect. You sign it, 3-day waiting period. On the 3rd day, you can sign your final loan docs, and then you fund the loan. Boom. Sounds easy. A lot of moving parts, but we're trying to keep this as simple as possible to help you out. Did I do that too fast, Vinnie? You have a perplexed look on your face.
No, I thought that was really good. I thought that was pretty straightforward. I think some states have funding tables where you're there together signing off. This is separated, so you have one signing and then you have the loan funding and then the closing. So it's a little bit different in California than maybe it might be in other states. Now, knowing the process is different in a challenging market, prices, better terms, better properties, better long-term gain, understanding what's possible. Now, in this current climate, something that we've seen, if you watch our market updates, we've had less inventory hit the market. To give you a reference point, we have about 3,400, 3,300 properties in San Diego County active on the market. Last July, in 2019, July, we had about, I think it was like 7,000 or so. We're having more than half the properties on the market than we did last year, okay? I think with COVID, what's happened is more people have been kind of scared to put their property in the market, and we've seen rates drop drastically, okay? So what that does, yeah, I mean, so what that does is it's been a kind of a frenzy. So understanding the different markets in San Diego is going to help you know what market you're buying in. If you're buying in one of the markets that are getting 20 offers, 15 offers, 30 offers on a property, be aware of that. I mean, you're going to probably have to go pay above asking price. Now, if you're in another market it might be a little different. You can get probably closer to asking price. In some cases, even get less than asking price. Okay, so be aware of the market you're buying in. Talk to your realtor, talk to your lender, and understand what you're looking to accomplish.
And you know, the thing you can look at it this way, Vinny, as an example, because I know that you guys have a lot of struggles with this, is if you, the buyer, find the home and you go, this is amazing. This is an amazing place. This is perfect. The problem is there's probably more people just like you saying the same thing if it's that good of a property, which means there could be 20 offers on the property.
Well, understanding too, I mean, are they pricing it below fair market value to get a bidding war on the property? I mean, there's some realtors that look to price a property 100,000, 150,000 under where it should be at just to get that bidding war to bid it up maybe 200,000 above. I mean, in some areas it can get pretty crazy, or to get buyers for future property. So something to be aware of when you're looking to buy. But reach out to myself, reach out to David. We'd love to be that resource for you to kind of help you out with the process to know what's possible. And if you're looking to buy today, tomorrow, and a year from now, 5 years from now, whatever it might be, don't worry, we'll be around. So just give it a call.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate it, and we wish you a wonderful Saturday.
Thanks, guys.